Alright, let's go ahead and get started here. So, there was a hotfix yesterday that seems to have fixed a lot of things. We're gonna see how it goes naturally. Oh, also, I'm probably gonna need to turn you down. Yeah. When I'm doing, like, screen caps, I usually go to all ultra. And, yeah. I actually still surprisingly get good FPS on ultra, it's just that it's a bit more choppy than high. I prefer the smoother experience. Hey Game Shift, how's it going? Let's go pet the dog. I think first thing I'm gonna do is apparently they fixed Captain Chin. So I'm gonna go see what's up with Captain Chin. Kinda curious. Yeah, I heard they fixed opal drops too, so that'll be interesting. We can play around with both of those and see how they feel. Hey, Captain. All right. So actually, we need a regular backpack for this. Characters, Scav Girl. I'm good, thanks. How are you? No worries, Game Shift. Yeah, it's still like very beta-ish, right? So like, the first thing is that we don't know all that much about it. We kind of know the intentions behind it, but we don't know the exact details of how it works. And I'm not sure if we should ever know the details exactly of how it works. Like, it's kind of like, it is like kind of how I describe it in the video, right? It's more of supposed to be something we see as a passenger, right? Like almost, if you're driving a car and you look at the fields around you, like it's the fields around you, right? You're not directly interacting with those fields, but you are like seeing the nature and seeing all of the stuff going on around you, but you're not directly influencing them. And like, despite that though, there is like this subtle effect of like doing stuff, right? Like I need to do some tests, right? I don't think just sitting on a map and murdering endlessly will do all that much. Exhausted? Yeah. Long workday, Captain? Or just no sleep? And like, that kind of has been their thing. They're like, it's been very clear that this is coming too, right? This kind of system. And it's supposed to eventually, I think, to my understanding, it's supposed to be the main driver of everything. That's a mood. Yeah. I will say though, when I worked stock in college, like overnight stock, you kind of do get into a vibe. I will say though, like you were allowed to listen to music though, so like it was just like 8 hours of just lifting heavy shit, or lots of tedious shit, but like you're also able to jam out to music too, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I'm curious how they fix the pathing of the Shag Commander. Apparently, he's supposed to be able to reach, like, from the patch notes, it seems like the way they fixed him is he's supposed to be able to retreat to areas when he can't path to you. God, it looks so cool. Poor guy's missing a foot. Hey, boo-boo, how's it? It's going well. Yeah, that's unfortunate with day shifts, right? Like, yeah, you're not allowed to listen to music. And that was like the one perk of that job, right? It's just like no custom interactions, an 8-hour workout essentially. Like, say what you will, but like lifting like 24 like packs of water it is a workout. Captain Chin. It says shield officer, that's a lie. That says Captain Chin. Alright. Also, I will note too, you can notice also how they turn off your HUD with their own commands when they activate that cinematic, but they don't turn it back off if you had that setting off, which is, I mean, it's a very subtle bug, right? It's not a big deal. Just turn it off and on again. So he generally cannot path up here. So I'm curious where he is right now. I probably should have brought a tac cam, to be honest. All right, let's head downstairs and see what happens. So we're now at a spot where he should be able to path. Where's Captain Chin? Also, wait, magazine?
I've been waiting for this.
Okay, this is not the right magazine, but I can be fine with that. I mean, Reiji, it was never gonna be that way for long. It was a fun like couple day bug. Oh God. Go away. Captain Chin! Where the hell did he go? It would be funny, by the way, if like Captain Chin wasn't actually just like a normal person, like a Yuskin soldier who has like a normal face, but like actually like a bioengineered super soldier that like for propaganda. Like part of your like process of becoming a shield officer is like getting that chiseled face for propaganda purposes. It could be that weird thing, right? Okay, I think it's ancient China. Hold on, let me get to safety. Leave me alone. I believe, right, in like ancient China, for like noble ladies, right, it was like you would have long fingernails. It was something like that, right? Forgive me, like I am like referencing old memories. God, that's loud. Oh God, where do you come from? But like, if I recall correctly, like in ancient China, right, like noble ladies would just have really long fingernails because I don't think they were expected to do any physical labor at all. So like in the way Captain Chin feels like that, right? In the sense of like just some weird vanity because they're special. Are you like spawning there or heading up there? I might move gets okay, I'm good. Alright. Oh God, you just see him phasing through the walls occasionally. I will say though, his effect is very realized right now because you know what he's doing? Because he's considered an HK, he is just like endlessly aggroing cyborgs to us right now. So as opposed to being a threat himself, it's more of just the fact that he's like aggroing things endlessly to us. Yeah, Grimdark TF2 Heavy is a very good way of describing it. Interesting. It seems like they have some ability to like climb on objects now, the scramblers, or at least the cyborgs.
More for the grabbing.
I'm guessing they just increased their like foot height, or whatever it's called. There's a setting in UE5, right, for certain units or certain models or just anything really, where you increase their step height. Essentially, right, so like if I have a step height of 32 or whatever, just some arbitrary number, I can go up staircases. But if I have like a step height of like 1,000 or 100, I can just like walk up this right here and get on top of it without any further inputs. You can, Reiji, yeah, they're separate. So like Captain Chin is from just doing the events on the map, and other HKs are just from regular stuff on the map. Alright. It's time to leave. Actually, I do want to get the towers though if I can. You know what, let's go see if we can get the towers. Who's a good boy? Who's got a massive chin? You got a massive chin. Bye.
Wait for the fireworks to stop, then
I like all the extra bodies in here. Looks so much more gruesome. Oh, this is probably not wise. Very fair. Muffins are very, very tasty. Leave me alone. Stop it. Okay, they can't get up here. That's nice. Oh god, he's climbing. Is that cyborg just mantling? Oh god, they're mantling. They learn how to climb things. They're evolving. That's not good. We can talk about this. I think I just need to leave, actually. I think it's... No, hey. I think it's time to leave. Alright, Scav Girl, show us your speed. 360 no scope. I missed. The cyborgs are evolving. They're learning how to use arms now. This is terrifying. Who's shooting? Oh god. Why are there poor Europans here? Hey, lava. I love pneumatic jump so much.
Looks like
It's the perfect like injection of silliness into the game.
time to count
All right.
scraps.
So I guess I will say we'll test out Shelly's in a second, Mario. They did buff him apparently against cyborgs. So I think the Captain Shin's still janky, but at least on the plus side, they seem to be doing a better job of hiding Captain Shin when he's like kind of bugging out. And it honestly, in a way, like on a map like Mech Trench, Captain Shin's still buggy. Don't get me wrong, but like he actually fills, I think, a better purpose as an HK, right? He is not like in a way directly infecting you. He's more of just like sending soldiers against you, right? Which is kind of neat, actually, as an HK mechanic. The omniscience is still kind of an issue, and it's probably a bit better considering they're all melee. But like, I almost prefer like HK coordination as coordinating enemies against you as opposed to like directly attacking you. Anyway, let's go see how the Vepr is. We'll do Gunhead. We'll do Gunhead, actually. Hold on. We'll do Gunhead's Gunhead. And I should have a Vepr for this. I do. Got 2 left. I think just mainly fixes, right? It was really just fixing like really egregious issues, like for example, shotguns feeling really bad versus cyborgs. A few fixes in regards to opals, like for example, apparently they fixed opals like crashing and dying immediately when they hit the ground. That was a big fix also. Let's go over to Mesa. We can probably find that too on Mesa if we go hit the towers up. I know, Captain, very big news. I think, Captain, we're just missing right now, like, the way I kind of view Europa is they're gonna have, like, elite, like, S-tier infantry, right? Like, they're going to have, like, operators, eventually. And it just probably requires a lot of fine-tuning to get those operators to feel that way. Because, like, there's apparently Europa assassins, right, who are supposed to have cloaks. So... essentially, we're just missing the spec ops for Europa. Yeah, it depends on what tower you activate them from, Lava, but they would just, like, explode sometimes on impact. Alright, please be one. Please, please, please be one. Oh my god, where's their take up there? I think that was one. How is there a tank up there? I don't feel safe here. Let's go around. Did this game good? The game is... I'm gonna try to interpret that. Oh, is this game good? Understood. Okay. The game is early access. So, first and foremost, it is a true early access game, right? Like, it's actively in development. It's not like a glorified beta. It's not like a marketing ploy. It is 100% early access, bugs and all. It's a mix between like grimdark extraction shootery sort of vibes, but it's all PvE, there's no PvP. And yeah, like it's a very like unpolished gem right now, right? That's the way I'd phrase it. If you are okay with early access games, or if you're okay with janky gameplay and you really like the atmosphere of the game, I would say go for it. If, you know, $30-40 is a lot for you, and you get frustrated easily at, like, undercooked or very buggy gameplay, I would say wait. Like, if you like a journey, and you like seeing games evolve over time, pick it up. But if you want a fully fledged, polished game, wait. Yeah, and like, well, keep in mind too, like, it's labeled as extraction shooter. The gunplay is like, almost ancillary. It's second to like the art and like the setting, right? Yeah, well, yeah, like, it's very hard to say if the game is good or not. I personally like it, but there's plenty of people who think it's undercooked right now, which I think is fair. It really depends on your expectations, right? And like how you are as a person. It's not a simple answer as yes or no. Because naturally people have different expectations. It's an art book in game form, but it doesn't really do a good job of relaying that via its marketing. No problem. And I will say, like, my favorite thing about the game, though, right, is that, like, they're, you know, like, first time, or they're pretty, like, green developers in regards to, like, full stack game development. And, like, I think they're being fairly wise in their design choices, right? They did not choose to do PvP, they did not choose to do servers. Like, both of those are things that, you know, small startups or small indie companies who do not have a lot of experience can get wrong very easily. So it's nice to see them kind of stay away from, like, those dangerous areas. I can't imagine any, like, smaller developers getting away right now with, like, just doing a PvP game as a core tenet of the game. It's just asking for cheaters. I haven't seen one, Captain. No, yeah, for sure. Blood Panda never. It's not even that I'm tired of PvP. The way I'll always phrase it is this: I would love PvP in an environment with integrity. But that's like that's literally a pipe dream, right? I think it's not bad. I will say, like, just the weird factor, right, is like gunhead's just like, yeah, it's holding the gun very awkwardly in front of him. Yeah, I would say it's back to what it was. Like, you're not gonna one-shot cyborgs with a shotgun anymore, but like you are 2 or 3 shotting them, right? So it's back to feeling good. Anywhere, like, you know, our channel, probably. I could make a channel too for like writing also. But I would say like the art channels are perfectly fine with that because, like, you know, like writing is art. I mean, he sort of waddles. Probably a lot more with a pistol. Thanks, Looking. Or Load King, appreciate it. Alright. Let's see if the opals die here. This is a spot, like, if they hit back in the previous patch, right before the hotfix, if they hit the Titan here, they would die on impact. Oh, no, 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 no. Alright, opals. Opals? I have terrible news. My poor sweet summer child. they're even more suicidal helldivers. Poor souls. So as part of the new patch, Load King, they added in like these small Eurasian mechs called opals, and they're basically a quick reaction force. So like if you fuck with the towers too much, they come in essentially, right? And unfortunately, when they don't land on like actual like terrain, like for example, right, this is like an object, right, that was built. These are not like, these are meshes. This is not terrain considered UE5. When they seem to impact with terrain and, or sorry, with like meshes and not terrain, they just self-destruct. So they're all gone. It's just a weird bug. It's they'll fix it eventually. It only happens occasionally, right? When, like, for example, the area where you're summoning them is full of meshes and not terrain. Like, if they land on this, it's perfectly fine. If they land on that, they blow up and die. Yeah, but shotgun feels pretty good. Let's actually go back and farm up some shotguns, really. I brought so much ammo, might as well. A Scorched Enclave should spawn them, I imagine. Like, this is probably one of the worst areas for them, because there's not an area where they can land easily. Nice, Captain. I'll take a look at it later. But I'm just happy I have my farming spot back. Was enjoyed farming cyborgs here. Though it does seem they deploy cyborgs behind us now too, which is kind of terrifying. Go, shotgun head, go! Alright, let's collect some little alcohol. Man, I would love a map that leans into darkness more. No. I will say that is a very scary, like, aspect of this, right? Where they can spawn above you now. Very scary. Yep, out of ammo. Imagine if, I mean, I would not be surprised if they never do this because it's just a small feature. Imagine if there was like a team reload for Gunhead's Gunhead. In Esco. Like a friend has to bring extra like shotgun ammo and then load up ammo into your Gunhead's Gunhead. Hey, Prom. Oh. It's gotten quiet here. I wonder if this is their global reinforcements, by the way. Probably not, but like, it would be really neat if you can actually like run out of a unit on a map, right? It would kind of not work well with the concept of like you not influencing the war directly, but it kind of feels neat. Team repair too. I think they've already like alluded to that, right? Though I can definitely see them being kind of hesitant considering the feedback they've gotten on the railgun. Like if they add a team repair to Gunhead, you know, you're gonna see feedback posts of like, why are you locking more content behind group play, like healing? All right, it's probably time to leave. I imagine I'm pretty hurt as Gunhead by now. Let us leave.
Delete them.
No. I said I'm leaving. Let me leave. Oh god. Yeah, I mean, shotguns feel pretty good against cyborgs now. As opposed to an entire magazine for a cyborg, now it's like a few shots per cyborg, a few shells for a cyborg. I mean, Reiji, I mean, yes and no. It's not just only a solo, like only a co-op game though. It's more than that, right?
Dumping targets.
Like considering I would say the original marketing for the game says it's like an offline PvE extraction shooter. I would say that rhetoric alone kind of really pushes toward the concept of solo, right? Like, I view the game as solo with co-op optional. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind the fact that there's content locked behind co-op. Like, considering there's always going to be some like innate friction with the idea of co-op, like, it's perfectly fine if they get some extra cool stuff alongside of that, right? Do I have an Orgamech HK? Are you dead? Is he dead? Is he just doing like a really cool lean? Oh god! Friend, please calm down. I was looking at a poor dead European soldier doing a cool lead. Don't ruin my fun. I don't think you can path on this, right? Can you path on here? Yeah, they need to figure. I feel like they gotta figure out some way to fix that, right? Like I guess the nav mesh here is too small, and you just can't figure out a way to walk through it. He's not. It's dumb, yes, but it's more of just in the sense, right? Like any AI is going to break if they can't figure out how to path to you, right? And when you have like this area here where the path, like the nav mesh is probably only this wide, like the game just can't figure out a way to get him to like walk through there, right? Yeah, I'd say shotguns feel pretty good now. And considering too, we were using the RPK earlier, like last map against cyborgs. Honestly, I would say the shotgun feels better than the RPK versus cyborgs now. Which I think is a fair compromise, right? Like actually having guns, but like, you know, that are good against a certain enemy type. Captain, they probably did in some capacity. The actual, like, yeah, they touch up the bridge a bit because now you can blow it up. Maker, I'm sure they're working on something like that, right? Wait, no, they didn't. You feeds. How could you do this to me? I will find a way to spite thee. You think you can keep me from my upper area? Haha. I guess. Yeah, this is new here, right? I think the bomber's been here forever, but I think this piping area up here is new. It used to be just flat up here. Hey, Blood. Nothing, just going out of bounds. Yeah, okay, that's walled off. But no, that's new. These pipes are weird too, right? Can I blow you up? Are you an objective? Or maybe a future one? That's gnarly though, I will say. Wait a second. You can't... Oh, it's walled off, we're good. I was like, that's too appetizing not to try to jump to. I don't think I can jump up there or blow that up. Let me see. I need 5 explosives to do that, 4 explosives to do that. And like, essentially, once you do these objectives, you kind of like, almost in a way, lock off the map for a while. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. That's what I thought. But no, blowing that up would be cool. Is that scaled down? I think that's scaled down too. Can I fit inside of you? Yeah. This is definitely scaled down. Alright, down we go. Captain, I tried. Like, it'd be so cool if you could actually do that, but yeah, unfortunately, they can't path on top of it. Or they can't path to it. Hey, Basilisk. Apparently they fixed some stuff on Frozen Swamp too. Let me go to Frozen Swamp. They mention helicopters and tanks on Frozen Swamp.
Safe and sound.
But no, yeah, shotgun feels good now. It's good versus everything. I mean, naturally you can't be stealthy with a shotgun, but like if you're doing a night shift versus cyborgs, it's probably worthwhile. I mean, I'm kind of curious what they mean by tank's blood. Hold on. Let's go... Yeah, sure, why not Shaman? Let's go Schomburg and attack him too so we can find the right tower. Alright, weapons and ammo. I don't need the foregrip. Alright, we're good there. 308. Buy a little more. A little bit of meds. Maybe we're gonna drill too, just in case. We're gonna drill. can bring an explosive too, I guess, also. And I think for this run, we're gonna do HUD on, just because I want to see if we can find... They mentioned tanks and helicopters, so I'm curious if there's like actually like new things we can do to blow up tanks and helicopters. But it's kind of hard to tell until you... Unless you can see it, like the note about it, it's hard to tell what you can actually do with what. Alright. Oh, well, drills. I think, well, maybe not android, but definitely a cyborg, right? But I am very curious if tanks are no longer small. So very curious. My mind would be blown if tanks are no longer small.
Our choices matter for those below.
Okay, that one. So this is, by the way, Shaman's new like passive perk. Is when he's using attack cam, he can actually tell what towers to activate by them blinking. So because we're seeing that blink off and on, that means that one is the first tower. So blind streak, you'll basically get a prompt or you'll get a notification on your screen that will tell you to like place explosives down or just do something when you're next to it, right? And I'll give you an example soon, right? Because you can go blow up the elevator or other things. Unfortunately, if you don't know it, I don't believe it tells you when you don't have HUD mode on. So like yeah, you just kind of have to know what to interact with if you don't have a HUD on. Alright, you can live. And I think it actually would probably be like more Bob too, right? It'd be harder to find a non-augmented character. Like even Old Man has got an artificial arm. Boop. And boop. Alright, we're good there. Now, is the one over there we need? Okay, that's not the one we need. So we need to go to the one across the way to the frozen swamp area. Or the swampy area. I mean, I am curious if we'll ever see, like, you know, cyborgs not aligned with Eurasia, like maybe like freed cyborgs or cyborgs who like wrestle control back as like a third-party faction. I would say, like, personally, temper your expectations on new characters. I would not be surprised if we get new skins, but actual new characters, this is probably not gonna happen. Just because animations and stuff. But like as a skin for like Shaman, Scav Girl, so on and so forth, I can definitely see that. Maybe. I'm not sure if they're fully realized yet. They feel a bit early. Like they feel very like testy, right? In the sense of they've been like put into the game for testing purposes, but they're not like fully implemented yet. All right, let me call all this up. Hey, who just shot me? All right, let's see the helicopter up here. Yeah, are you actually working as a spawn point now? I'm curious. Oh, yeah, okay, we can blow it up now. So, yeah, you can see tab will be your inventory and drag the item. The chopper has been destroyed. Hold on, let's see if it blows up. Hey, there you go. Still very early on, but that's cool. Actually, Firefly looks pretty good too. Rip helicopter. Now I will say, I don't think they were doing a very good job defending their helicopter, but that's beside the point. No, that's cool though. Oh god, no, I didn't. No, not Frozen Swamp 2. I'm sorry. Mr. Chit, I'm sorry. I didn't realize this would summon you also.
Shit ton of action down there.
Alright, well, I'm scared. I will say, this is a cool thing too, just because, like, you can put a unit like this in an area where people usually can actually inspect it more. So, like, for example, like, people who don't have, like, camera software can come here and start, like, looking at all the cool stuff and decals along the side of the helicopter, which is nice. He's just big boned, okay? I think that's, like, literally the definition of a big chin. It has to be a big bone.
They have arrived. We have to endure.
Alright, more explosives here. There we go. I'm kind of curious. This might kill me. I know, I have to see the tanks though. Can I only do it at the top or the bottom, or if I do this? Oh god. I've made a slight mistake. I didn't. I made a slight mistake, everyone. Hold on. Will that work? Are those real? See, we're fine. We're fine. We just gotta play a little Jenga. No, sorry, not Jenga. Plinko. I'm thinking of Plinko. We got to play a little bit of Plinko. I kind of felt that was gonna happen. I was curious if we could actually do it mid like ride down. That's cool. Self-sabotage. I like that though, right? Just like the, oh no, you made a mistake. Yeah, more explosives, why not?
You never know what you will find until you look.
Yeah, Mr. Incredibles too. That's a perfectly fair blind streak. Lurking, so like I think the shield officer is different from regular HKs, it feels like. So like they're the same system sort of kind of, but they can be deployed together. Alright, here's the second one. So like if we tack cam this, you can see it's blinking, so yeah. Hello, sir. Maybe. Alright, let's see if they fix the good old tanks. They do, Maker. And for the characters outside of Shaman, you need to figure out yourself, I think. They might have added more stuff in, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't see it over there, though. Alright, let's see if we can find anything inside of here. Boop. Hello. Oh. Curse you, take. You're still too small. I wonder what tank they were referencing, though. Are there tanks in this map you can blow up somewhere? Certainly not this one. This one's already well dead. What tanks were they referring to on this map, then? I will say though, like, right, it is a nice little thing to have. I think it's not a huge perk to have, but I think having lots of small perks like that make characters feel unique without making them min-maxy, right? Go, sir. You know what, Mr. Chin? God, his chin's bulletproof. Thanks, Tank. Appreciate it. Not yet. This is like the first iteration, I think, of having like these kind of unique small perks maker. So I imagine we'll see more of them in the future. But I think they're good. I think they add a lot of characters to characters. And they're not so pivotal that they're min-maxy.
Not enough guns for this.
I don't know, Nasco. It feels like it is, but also it could be like yes but no, like they're sort of related but not really. I don't know. It could be too that like it could also be that like Orgamechs were like the V1 of those guys. Like they're old and so on and so forth. They're like old stock. They're old tech. And these shield officers are much higher tech. Oh god. Where'd you go? You just like look up and you see the shield officer just hanging off one of these little branches up there. Waiting, watching. Hey, Tiger. Alright. Oh god. What the fuck? Where the fuck did you come from? Sir? Where's my opals at? Okay, they just flew through the wall. We can ignore that. Okay, we lost 2. 1 lived. 1 out of 3. Is that one alive too? Okay, no, 2 out of 3 lived, actually. That's huge. Yeah, these are the opals. These are QRF force. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was admiring you. So Tiger, it's an early access kind of like artistic, like extraction shooter. Oh god, I'm sorry. Anyway. It's very early access, so like there's lots of bugs and like unpolished features, but like it's more of just a vibe right now. So you're essentially a scavenger just trying to live throughout essentially like a conflict 100 years in the future between like 3 mega states essentially. And it's basically like walking around, scavenging, living, you know, fighting, and then kind of admiring the art they put in the game, right? For extra context behind Fundog, they were founded by mainly artists. So this is a game made by artists. And it's been a fun experience so far, kind of seeing the them progressing through early access. Now, so right now, Tiger, there's not progression in the game yet. The next couple of patches, we should start seeing progression get like sneak into the game. So right now, it's just like walking around and vibing and playing. There's really not a whole lot of substance to the game. Despite being that, like saying that, most people will probably get, you know, dozens of hours out of the game before they kind of like probably put it back up. But I will say, for people who get frustrated easily, right? People who don't really enjoy like buggy or janky gameplay, you'll probably put it down pretty quickly. Alright, Aramaki, I'm sorry. How would you like some hard drives? There we go. Yeah, Remnant and Division, like, their gun, like, it's... I would say the gunplay is not the focus of the game, despite it having lots of elements of extraction shooters in that regard. It's probably never going to have as smooth as gunplay as either of those. but I would say it's probably a bit more akin to Remnant. You should not probably expect like AAA level qualities of polish on this, right? They are a very small team. Overall, their entire company is less than 50 people. And like that's the entire company, right? Not just developers. It's like every one of the companies less than 50 people. But like comparing it to Remnant 1, I would say is probably pretty wise. But as opposed to like Remnant 1 that focused on like the Dark Souls shooter kind of loop with having some nice art, but the atmospheres of the environments were kind of dull. This game focuses more on the environments and the art being really good, but maybe the gameplay is a bit underbaked, at least currently. But I think Remnant 1's a very good comparison, right? Just because Remnant 1 was a small game that had, you know, it had some real like polarizing aspects, right? Like the shooting combat in Remnant 1 was pretty good, but like I would say atmospheric wise, Remnant 1 was not very good. Naturally, in my opinion. Yeah, the gunplay is like it's the way I'll describe the gunplay is serviceable. I would say there's some aspects they need to fix on it, but like overall with a few fixes here and there, it's serviceable. No problem, Tiger. That's what I'm here for. Answering questions. All right. Because I wasn't really enamored with Remnant 1, I never got 2. I tried playing Remnant 1 again before Remnant 2 came out. I was just like, I just can't do this. Let's do some elephant. Also, actually, let's go over here too. I'm curious. All right, interesting. Yeah, there's a small skill tree for each character. It's very placeholdery. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. It's very the character. For extra context, they put out the game into early access very early, and they might be regretting that, but like it is what it is now. There's lots of things that were kind of rushed or thrown into the game into a very placeholdery status because of, you know, them wanting to get the game out. And like, for example, character skill trees is one of them. And just like the overall character leveling experience too, I would say it's pretty like placeholdery. Yes. Bunko, yes, I know. Bunko. All right, we're good. Yeah, the whole prestige system and leveling is kind of weird right now. Essentially, I won't go into it too much because it feels placeholdery, but like prestiging in this game is like leveling up as opposed to like resetting yourself. You do reset yourself when you prestige up, but like it feels much more like a leveling system as opposed to a like actual prestige system. I think downtown might be their last map, Gusto. There was a few people data mined and makes them feel like they're doing Shantytown next. I will say though, we can't trust the data mines 100%, right? They just saw some files in the folder that referenced Shantytown, and during the September patch, right, or September when the game came out, the first files we saw were for Frozen Swamp, but the next map to come out was Cemetery. So like, we can't necessarily trust the fact that we saw like Shantytown maps or stuff in the files as a meaning that they're going to put Shantytown out next. Commander, yeah, I do think the passes for Shaman's kind of starting to do that, right? The game looks great, and some maps more than others. I think Elephant Mausoleum is probably the first to do for like an overhaul, aesthetics-wise, but yeah. For extra context too, originally they were aiming for much bigger maps and much more combined maps, but they had to break them apart for performance reasons. And Elephant Mausoleum's like one of the remnants of them breaking maps apart. Alright, we can go back to no HUD though. I don't need to see anything now. Back to no HUD.
Too many footsteps. We need to reduce their numbers.
Okay, hold on here. Oh god, I meant to leave that. Hold on. You guys are eating 308, or so you're eating 54R to the head? They have been getting better. It depends on your specs, right? It can be very hit or miss sometimes. Let me up. Are you no longer a one-shot to the head with this thing? Maybe you are. Maybe I just missed. Any more tests? 2 shots to the head now with a 54R? Ugh. Maybe let me try out again though. I probably just missed a lot. I need to find a subject. Hey, hello sir. Hold on, come back here. I feel like that was a headshot, but I must be missing. Sir, hold still. It might be a one-shot headshot. I might be missing, to be honest. Shotguns feel good now, but like body shots against cyborgs with guns just, oh god. It does actually, I will say, it does probably make shotguns a good secondary now just for cyborgs. Rat King? Oh, 100%. Well, yeah, you shouldn't have issues. The VRAM might be an issue, but like, there's a demo you can go try, and if you get decent performance in the demo, like, the game will only be better. The demo is like 5 patches old at this point. So it's a bit, it's like, if you get good performance on the demo, you will have better performance on the live patch right now. And they're still working on it naturally, but a 4060 with 8 gigabytes of VRAM should be perfectly fine. Though I will say, it's fucking NVIDIA, man. It's criminal how much they skimp on VRAM for the more consumer-friendly cards. So Blood, I'm not sure if you're still in chat, but you're saying this is your idol? This guy right here is your idol, Blood? The guy who can't even walk around properly? Hey, why is he aggroing to me? Aren't we friends? Rat King? Why is he gaining an aggro bar? I don't... Rat King? Are we I can't even mark him anymore. Rat King? Is he gonna kill me if he aggros? Oh, he's what is he currently focused on? What still? I felt like that was a headshot. Yeah, I don't think there's one-shot headshots anymore. Oh, that is Rat King. He should be a friendly mech to us, but like, currently he's having some pathing issues. Rat King is basically like a friendly medium mech to us, or I think friendly. Oh, they definitely buff cyborgs, but like, I feel like 54R to the face should probably still one-shot them. I'm okay with an RPK or like regular rifles not doing it, but like a DMR I feel like should one-shot headshot them. Oh god, I'm sorry. Cover. Oh, this is cover. Yeah, there's some travel time going on here. don't, maybe Michael. It felt like there was something weird going on with shotguns though. Yes. Like, I don't think it's as simple as that, Michael, just because like the shotguns were, it got to the point where shotguns needed like half a magazine to kill them. Yeah, so Tiger, this is a UE5 game, so like pros and cons, it's UE5. The main downside of UE5, right, is nanite, or the upside slash downside, right? Nanite helps performance and like gives you visual fidelity. The downside of nanite though is storage space. Nanite eats storage space like candy.
The city provides sustenance.
And just to elaborate, right, nanite's basically like a dynamic LOD, level of detail. Essentially, as opposed to like developers having to like add in a model for what you see at like 100 feet, 10 feet, 50 feet, it just does all of that for them. However, like, you generally want some pretty high poly models when you're doing nanite. And so those raw high poly models just take up a lot of space, storage wise. Captain, it is, yeah, it's like 110 or something like that right now. It is a decent amount of storage space. So you loot, when you loot all and you don't finish that, you get this item in your inventory, so you do not know what this is, right? So you can't use it in raid. You can drop it though, so if I like right click this and drop it, I can loot it again, and now I know what it is. So like the plus side of loot all is that you can, you know, gather a bunch of items quickly. Downside is you don't know what they are. Which is, I think it's kind of nice, right? Because like, it's kind of like you scooping up a bunch of stuff into your backpack without looking. All right, let's go grab our item. Yep, that hurts. Give me your stuff. So Tiger, this is a PvE game that's it's extraction shooter format, right? So it's PvE, but like it's got single player and co-op. The co-op, there's no servers, so the co-op is peer-to-peer. So like it's a solo, I would say it's a solo focused game probably, but it's got optional co-op essentially. Yeah, the co-op does change the game a bit. It makes it a bit more chaotic slash like fighty. This game is like, the marketing for this game says like, right, you're supposed to be kind of a scab, you're like, you know, your bullets matter, you're supposed to be sneaky and not necessarily fight everything because you're not that guy, you're not like supposed to be some like god tier, you know, mega chad. But like, when it comes to co-op gameplay, it kind of forces you more into that kind of loop where you're like, you're murdering a lot of things. Just because it's like, it's hard to balance 4 players all drawing aggro. I feel like I did this wrong. Did I do this wrong? I didn't, okay. Yeah, they in the April patch, so not the May patch where we're playing right now, but the April patch, they added in some extra incentives to co-op. Essentially, like before the April patch, like co-op was for your friends, but like co-op, there wasn't a reason to do co-op over solo. Like you would always be better off doing solo. And so the April patch added in the feature of using basically a crew weapon, a railgun, with 3 players to do extra like content, right? Essentially kill special units. And I think it's an important thing to have in the game, right? For like a reward for people to play in a group, right? Because playing in a group creates more friction, and so there has to be a reward for that. So Tiger, I don't... I don't play that many games outside of this, mainly for time. I do just like very casually play Star Citizen, but not on stream. Just because like it's generally just like kind of like a chill vibe game for me. Other than that, I play like a very little bit of Helldivers 2, just a match here and there occasionally. Other extraction shooters, I'll probably try Arc Raiders when it comes out, or if there's another beta for it. Let me just leave. But I haven't played Arc Raiders yet. Game Shift, the problem I have with Star Citizen streams, it's kind of like a vibe and talk stream. It's not a lot of gameplay. The placeable turret's not very good. The placeable turret has a lot of issues. I mean, yeah, Star Citizen's like, they're doing better now, but Star Citizen's very much a game about just like, yeah, it's a lot of friction. It's Star Citizen offers something you won't see in a lot of other games, but also there's so much friction in regards to playing it. Other than that, I'm kind of conflicted. I am kind of conflicted because, like, I almost want to try the Dune game from Funcom, but I know I'm going to, like, play it for, like, 10, 20, 30 hours, and then just suddenly realize why I hate Funcom. Or rather, realize why I hate Funcom. Hate's a strong word. Why I strongly dislike Funcom. I kind of feel like like, I don't know, Ragey. It could be that tanks are almost supposed to, like, just be there for the atmosphere of tanks, as opposed to, like, trying to murder you. So, I've said this before on stream before Game Shift. There was a game called Age of Conan. And for those who are unfamiliar with the game called Age of Conan, it was an MMO a few years after, like, the WoW craze. And it was like the epitome of a rug pull. Essentially, Age of Conan, it had, if I recall correctly, it had 80 levels, right? So, like, it was 0 to 80, or 1 to 80, right? And the intro area, the first 20 levels of the game, were, like, very well polished, full of VO. The quest design was immaculate. The enemies were good to fight. They had, like, good animations and fights and stuff like that. And once you leave the intro area, which was, like, you know, 10, 20 hours, the tutorial, the trial of the game, like the trial of the game to play it, was only that area. And so when you left that area, the game changed completely. It was nothing like the intro zone. And it was like a hollow shell of a game. So, and because they put that around, like, a trial, and they basically almost tried to hide the latter two, like, 3/4 of the game, including the end game, from the actual audience, it felt massively misleading. And, yeah. Age of Conan is different from Conan Exiles. Conan Exiles was, like, the Rust-like game, which naturally they put out too early again. It still had the same issues, right, where it was just, like, really underbaked. Granted, they got to use the EA title for that, the early access title. I mean, I put a decent amount of hours in Conan Exiles just because it was a novel experience at the time, but, like, it still just, it didn't do it for me. It was a pretty, like, buggy, underbaked experience, and it didn't develop it quickly enough for my liking. But, like, no, they haven't done anything that has garnered any goodwill, in my opinion, since, and naturally, Conan Exiles was, like, 15 years ago, right? The people there are probably entirely different. But the problem is when you have institutions like Funcom, the mentality of their business doesn't really change over 15 years, right? For example, like, say, for example, we have, like, an executive named Charles at Funcom who was leading, for example, the Age of Conan team, right? And he might not be with the company anymore, but the people who like he influenced, who maybe took his spot eventually, still might have that mentality, right? They kind of have adopted the institution's mentality. And I have yet to see anything from Funcom that has had me change my opinion on that. Like, I want to try Dune just because I like Dune as an IP, but I also feel like I'm going to play it and be like, yeah, this is just peak Funcom. I'm gonna get to like the mid to late game and realize that they didn't have enough time to actually create an actual like meta gameplay loop. All right, Scrapyard. It's basically wait and see for me, but like I would say like the game releases this year have been so sparse that it almost like wants it's enticing me to just pull the trigger on it and just pull the trigger and then just ultimately be disappointed, right? The game releases this year have been pretty sparse. At least for games I'm interested in, right? You know, there was Expedition 33, but that's not really my vibe of a game.
Eyes on us. Spread out.
Okay, at least the Scar. Okay, I actually like this. Okay, so we're in Scrapyard, Captain. If this is a one-shot gun to the head for cyborgs, I like that a lot, right? I can kind of almost see the picture they're painting with cyborgs in that regard. So like cyborgs being a pretty good threat. Imagine this, right? You have the conventional Europa military, and then they see cyborgs are deployed, and they kind of realize that their like conventional firearms, the M4s, the 308 guns, are not a good match to Eurasian cyborgs. And so in response to that, they make a 50 BMG Scar like their mainstay gun just because they have to be able to put down cyborgs. I will say though too, I am noticing between the SVD and this, it could just be like we are using a red dot at pretty close range, so it might be 0 at 100, and so like height over bore is being a factor, right? Essentially, it feels like our bullet is going lower from where we're aiming, but that just could be, it could just be like the nuanced like thing of like height over bore. But I'm not sure if a game like that should really have that. Like, if it was Tarkov, right, I'd be like, yeah, height over bore, that's like a firearm feature, right? Essentially, height over bore basically being, like, you're so close to a target that where your reticle or iron sights are aiming at is not where the bullet's going to impact at, just because you're too close. Yeah, if they keep the 308 guns, I would say that 54R might be the exception, but I actually don't know. Is 54R like the exact equivalent of 308? Is 54R spicier than 308? So it's comparable, right? I basically ask, right, because 54R in the game currently does 300 damage if I recall correctly, but then you have the 308s which do I think 175. So almost in a way, like 308 does half the damage of 54R in the game. I'm basically, the reason why I'm saying this is like, should the SVD one-shot cyborgs to the head? I kind of feel like yes, because it's only used in a DMR role. Well, for 308, you do have the regular assault rifles. Wait, hold on. I'm curious here, actually. Yeah, I think that the SVD should probably one-shot cyborgs to the head.
Decide what happens next.
If the only two rifles that could do that would be like the DMRs plus the Scar, I think that's fair. Do I have beds left? Okay, we're good. Forgot to have granadas. You know, that is fair. You're wearing an EOD suit. This is Scrapyard Nexus. This is a very small, like, get in, get out. I didn't mean to do that. This is a very small, like, get in, get out map. No, grenades, please stop. It's nice. It's a very like linear get in, get out map. It's the only map where like the extraction is the same as your entry point. So like it creates this kind of vibe of like it's get in and get out. It's also a map too where if you really want to fight and like go murder hobo, it's a nice map because there's no HKs. So like you have free reign to play as aggressive as you want and not get punished for it. Which is a good outlet to have, I think, right? Yeah, I wouldn't say grenades are great yet, but like they're nice to have. Yeah, you do not get HKs on this map. So like if you want to just go full murder, you can play this map and never see an HK. Now, there is a night variant of this map that can have a grabber on it by default, but like the 2-day variants of the map will never have HKs, at least currently. Now, I will say the daytime or white variant of this map, it can have brawlers, and brawlers, the RPK brawlers, might as well just be HKs. They are terrifying. Alright, that's 3, I guess. HK brawlers just, or not HK brawlers. Brawlers are basically HKs. If they aggro to you and you're in the open, you're just dead. The amount of damage they do with their RPKs is very punishing. And I think it's fair too, right? They're elite units. I don't have a problem with the damage they do. It just makes them very scary. Yeah, I just want the feature to be able to throw a grenade, right? Like, I don't really... When I hit G, I just want to be able to throw this if I want to, right? As opposed to having to aim it and stuff like this. Like, the problem I have with, like, having to see where I want this to throw, I can't, like...
As long as I'm the last one standing.
Hey, can I bank you? Sort of, kind of. Essentially, like, if I want to throw the grenade in a spot, it kind of incentivizes me to, like, be able to see where I'm aiming, right? Good there. Oh no, you might be thinking about heavy brawlers, right? There's a variant of the brawlers that are just called brawlers, and they're armed with RPKs, and they can melee you if you get close enough, but like they're predominantly just going to absolutely shred you with their RPKs. They might have the highest DPS in the game for range. Yeah, they're much rarer than the melee variants of brawlers, but like the white variant of this map, there's 3 variants of this map. There's the daytime variant, which is like the white variant. There's like evening variant, which is orange, and there's like a nighttime variant, which is, you know, nighttime. And the white variant will spawn a first wave of melee brawlers, and then every other brawler spawn after that will be ranged brawlers. And if you don't be aware of where they are at times, and they ambush you, you're basically dead. Yeah, I think it should be, I don't think they should get rid of the trajectory game shift, but I do think like there should be options for if you do not want to use it.
never do that again. Until the next time.
Yeah, so white orange is the safest variant, yeah. Or yeah, evening orange is the safest variant. All right. And it's more just to game shift how the grenades respond, because like when you're doing that kind of trajectory right, it always has you sort of like lobbing the grenades right. It's very like awkward to drop the grenades at your feet or just throw it in front of you. Like it has to be this like very like upwards trajectory to throw grenades right now. It's like you're always doing like a softball lob as opposed to like a pitch. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and get Stairway out of the way, I guess. Play big old bad man. All right. Come on, what do you mean? Cannot be used with this character? I think Bagman would look adorable with a tiny backpack. No, we can bring it painless. All right, let's buy some 5.56. That could probably possibly work, Gusto. Like, you can hit G to activate the trajectory, but if you hold G, it turns like... Yeah, some way of modifying the actual angle of throwing could work too. But like, I will say that the problem with that, right, is like, I don't want to spend a lot of time, like, modifying the trajectory of my grenade. I just want to be able to, like, off the cuff, just, like, yeet it in front of me. Or just, like, I want to be able to, like, use where I'm looking to just affect the trajectory of the grenade, right? Cyber, they are. That's actually the main way we're gonna get them. You can craft them over here. Hold on. Who's a good boy?
Shit.
But like, nah, you can craft grenades, but like, I would say it's kind of a pain to like, you can craft one at a time and you have to like wait to like collect them. So it's predominantly just gathering them. But like, no, like the way I want to see grenades right is just, you know, just they're like, you throw them with a certain force. And like, if I hit G right now, right, it would throw the grenade straight in front of me, and naturally gravity will affect it to pull it down. So it wouldn't go very far before it hit the ground. But if I wanted to throw the grenade farther, I would look up and just throw the grenade farther by hitting G, right? I would lob it myself. And like over time, you would learn like how this affects the grenades and distance-wise. But like making the, and like, yeah, just, I prefer a method like that. I don't usually like trajectories. But I can definitely see like how some people would prefer trajectories more. I don't have a problem with that. My main argument why I don't like trajectories though is it feels like the game in a way is playing itself at that point. I don't have the opportunity to learn because the game's just telling me how it's going to work, right? Like when you start learning lineups and how far you can throw grenades, it'd be cool too, right? Like honestly, if each character had like a different way to throw a grenade too, or how far they throw it, like it makes each character a little bit more nuanced and how you can like play them and how you need to expect to play them. I'm not sure if that would be a good system, but like at least it's interesting in my mind, right? Like having grenades work differently with different characters and how far they throw them. That's fair. I mean, yeah, Busto, I don't have I don't have a problem with that. I would say though, systems like that, like systems like this HUD, and systems like the grenade throw, I feel like detract, like, if you're trying to lean into, like, an artistic game, that leans into feeling as opposed to lots of gamified mechanics, it feels like it pulls you out a bit, right? Like you're focusing on the HUD, you're focusing on the trajectory, you're not focusing on the game and the feeling of the game and how you interact with the environment. You're just focused on all of the UI elements of the game, right? Like if you're trying to lean into the artistic style, I almost feel like it's detracting from that by distracting you from the art. Yeah, short bursts with this thing. Very, very short bursts. Thanks, Captain. Yeah, it's going smooth. Everything's lined up. Oh, for sure, little Papa. I imagine, like, getting VAs, though, and doing systems like that might be difficult or hard or slow. But no, like, having NPC chatter, it definitely helps ground the AI and makes the AI feel much more immersive. I honestly, I don't do a lot of different game streams. I almost want to just do a playthrough of Fear again. Fear's a great example of, like, that kind of system, right? I wonder if Fear even works on modern PCs. It's a decently old game at this point. Good so far, AJ. I mean, maybe, Anton. I personally wouldn't go to that perspective, but, like, I mean, that's a fair point, right? Also, I don't think, I would say right now they don't feel very scarce. Captain Shin, so essentially AJ, as opposed to Captain Chin, like sitting at the end of a ramp or sitting in a spot where like you just watch him like AFK out, he basically goes to like areas where you can't see him now if he can't path to you. So it's better in that regard, right? We should go play Cemetery after this too. Apparently they did that to the Grabber also. But like no, as opposed to like the Grabber or Captain Chin like freaking out if they can't path to you, now they just go like to like a private area as they can't path to you. I will say though, if you're referring to like the story or like the campaign mode, Lil Papa of Modern Warfare, that is the advantage too of having like very scripted environments like that, right? Like you almost know what to do, right? You have like it's the same thing with Fear, right? Because Fear is a fairly linear game. It does a good job of like making sure like it knows what to say, right? It can kind of have the illusion of intelligence to some degree. Not to detract that the AI wasn't well designed, but just they played it well. Yeah, okay. Yeah, these are the regular brawlers. These are the brawlers. These are the RPK brawlers. The AK, they'll fuck you up brawlers. I have a solution for this though. Alright, we're good. Yeah, they're story driven and they're linear, right? Captain. Yeah, I saw Trip Bang. I haven't really considered pulling the trigger yet, but I saw a few like videos of it. Are you one? Thank God. The map is so red. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Ragey, how dare you? Everyone shame Ragey. Shame that man. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, like, I think... I'm not in love with the red. I'm okay with the red. But no, like, my main sin of this map, right, is it just needs more play space to it, right? Everyone's jumping on the bandwagon of shaming Ragey. How dare you enjoy an awful god? I will say that's so very peak Tarkov though, right? It's just like making the meme guns. But like the only thing is the meme gun is just the VKS by default. It doesn't need anything extra. I mean, no, Michael, we still accept Ragey, we just shame Ragey. No, for those unfamiliar, right, the VKS right now in game, for those unfamiliar with the VKS, it's a gun that basically fires a snub nose 50 caliber for CQB purposes. And right now in the game, it does the same damage as 308, but the gun only has a 5-round magazine capacity. So like, considering what you saw on cyborgs, you can spend an entire magazine trying to kill a cyborg, and if you don't hit a headshot, you're going to be reloading before you kill one. If you prefer reloading as opposed to shooting, the VKS is for you. Yeah, Gusco, like, if they're trying to combine the maps eventually into like a multi-map experience, like where, say for example, if you're trying to go to Scorched Enclave, you need to go to Elephant Mausoleum and then go to Scorched Enclave through an extraction point, I can see this map being as part of that. But like even then, I would still kind of want a bit more nuance or like choices to be made on maps like this, right? In regards to how you move about it. Day 16, it's going well. Just playing around, enjoying the new hotfix. The VKS is enough, it's painful. Oh, medium mech, how nice. You don't see me.
They might be flanked.
Well, AJ, we're never gonna see that, I think, actually, like, literally the map's connected. But as a, like, for example, I'll show you when we go back to the map region. Hold on. It'll be easier to explain. It's not going, remember, so Tarkov has had that premise for the longest time, right? Where Tarkov has wanted to, like, combine all of the maps into a super map. But, like, it's not necessarily an easy thing to do unless you design the whole area from the ground up to facilitate that, right? It's kind of hard to just patchwork maps together that have already been made, right? But hold on. Essentially that Gusto, right? Yeah. So say for example, hold on. Yeah, the change to cyborgs nice, or is very nice. The death for sure. You can actually kill cyborgs now.
I hate it down here.
Yeah, it'd be very much like OG Stalker, right? Okay, so yeah, like say for example, if the innards were like right here, let's say right here, right? So say for example, if the innards were here and we wanted to go to Mesa, we might have to go to Scrapyard first and like run through Scrapyard, going from like entrance 1 to exit B, and exit B would take us to an entry point on Mesa. And then say for example, we finish Mesa, to get back to the innards, we would have to go like Mesa to some other point. Let's say for example, Mech Trench to Elephant Mausoleum to back, or through Scrapyard again. And like, you can have kind of these experiences, right, where you have a small degree of persistence or just other things, right? Say for example, you spawn your innards, you go to Scrapyard. Say for example, you kill a bunch of Europans on Scrapyard. Like you murder the entire European army on Scrapyard as you go through it. You go to Mesa, you do your thing on Mesa, you come back, and like now it's, Europa's dead there, so now it's like you just run by Uresco, Eurasia, and then you head back. So you can like almost have like these little like dynamic events that happen during these multi-part raids. Because naturally, like I'm pretty sure the way they're working with this is they're doing everything during the loading of the map. And so it's hard for them to change lots of things on maps when you're on the map itself. But if you can facilitate that through load screens, it can actually have you have lots of changes on maps. Yeah, Mike, I think Game Shift too, right? We're missing a lot of like almost ancillary maps in that regard, like underground areas that connect other maps together. I mean, I'll run the VKS. I think you guys are not understanding what you're asking for. Hold on. It's such a bad gun. So this is the VKS. On the plus side, we can bring a silencer, right? Hold on, let me get a silencer for this thing. Where's my kitted out VKS? So like, okay, hold on. Rifle. So here's the VKS, right? It does 175 damage. The same thing as the SA-58. And it's got a magazine capacity of 5. And you can't make it better. The VKS is... Actually, I don't have that much ammo for it. We'll bring 100 rounds. Remember, 100 rounds doesn't sound like a lot, but 100 rounds is 20 reloads. I mean, this is a cursed gun, though. It might have a different headshot multiplier, but it has the exact same base damage. Captain, I mean, everyone in YouTube chat wants me to use it, so... This is all Reggie's fault.
It's always the same up here.
But no, hold on. And reload. Look at the little backpack. I think this little backpack would fit perfectly on the back of Bagman. I need everyone to petition Fundog to add the ability for Bagman to use the backpack. Oh god, I missed. I was. Oh no! Damn it! Timing wise, I was almost perfect. I need the jump. If I had the jump, I could probably make that work. Oh, that's so saddening. I was trying to lock it in the back room there. I was so close. Oh god, you're not a Euruskin.
Big boss headed this way.
No. Oh god. Not good, not good, not good, not good. Let me up. Let me up. In my defense. In my defense. In my defense. The pathing there is terrible. The movement should allow me to go up that. I blame the VKS. That's all the VKS's fault. Hold on. Let me run it back. With a regular backpack. We need a regular backpack for this. I have ideas. We'll give the VKS one more shot. I had to buy a VKS. This feels awful. It is not that this is a skin variant. Yeah, this is like one of the base skin variants, right? But what we really need here is we need a pneumatic jump. That will save us. We'll bring... Sure, bring a cluster grenade, why not? 2. Some subsonic ammo. We'll bring... There we go, medkits. Yeah, the VKS is as powerful as the R8. Alright, right back. Yeah, 30. Johnny feels criminal, right? 30k for a VKS. And actually, I feel like the R8 actually does more headshot damage too.
Thing on the cutting room.
Maybe it isn't good. I mean, I feel like we all do that. All right, please don't break door. Please don't break. Okay, sick. I have a plan. Here, doggy, 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 doggy. Who's a good boy? Certainly not you. Dog? See you, Gusto. Where the dog at? Hold on. Hold on. Pause. Time out. Let me up. Let me up. Let me up. Let me up. Oh, I forgot I had grenades. I forgot I had grenades. The VKS is so bad. Reggie, this is all your fault. Okay, third time's the charm. Certainly, this can't fail for the third time in a row. Certainly. Oh, I'm about to pay 30k for you again. 100%. That should definitely be a gameplay mechanic, is Goomba stomping. You know what? We're also going to bring an R8. We're going to bring an actual real gun here. An actual gun that can do headshot damage. And I just bought meds too. And like that, we couldn't even one-shot headshot a freaking like your Ruskin girl. This is all Rage's fault.
Time to carve him up.
Okay, I don't need you. Take 3? Yeah, take 3. Hey, where's my stuff? Alright, let's see if this door doesn't break. Alright, it's good. So what I was just trying to do, by the way, is you can jump up here. I was a bit too far back. And this area is a pretty safe area. Fuck you, dog. So what I need to do here is pull the dog into this room, hopefully jump over, and then immediately close the door on it. So I needed to follow me in here, ideally. These are both silence, doesn't work. What the dog doing? You can drop, like, so the loot is gonna be for your specific character. You can drop it in raid to other characters though. So like if you really want to, you can like use Scrapyard as a way of transferring materials between players. Because the extract of Scrapyard is the same as the entrance, you can like both load into Scrapyard and then drop stuff to that player and then leave. You can give guns to other players via the donation box, but if you want to like give them other things. I could shoot him, but that seems like a mistake. Wait, hold on, that works too. Get locked in, idiot. Alright, we win. We have caged the dog. So we put the dog in the crate for timeout. That is correct. Until he teleports out, yes. That is the scary part, until the teleportation. No, we're not gonna free the dog, game shift. We're using a VKS. We'll free the dog if we weren't using a VKS. So you can blame Ragey. Free the dog. You fiends. The grabber should not be freed. Why? Just why? It looks so disgusting. This doesn't look right. This looks looks perverse. Ooh, gotcha. He just wants to use my entire body as a chew toy. Yeah, I see you guys. It's and the kicker too. The kicker too is you can't change guns while you're reloading right now. Did everyone just see that? The R8 just do that in comparison to the VKS. I'd rather use the free AK. Why are you doing it too now? This is not right. I'm happy I'm turning these off, actually. Feels so nice. He's a handyman. He's a very, very handsy man. Yeah, 100%. Looks like a diddler. I am missing one of the quest items too. I wonder if it's back here. I just missed it. Are you over here? I guess you're not over there. Okay. I like. Occasionally this item doesn't spawn this map, I feel like. I can hear it. Bye, dog. Someone else can free you from your crate. I do, by the way, think if they wanted to like lean into the horror elements more, having like vents the thing can move around in, or like pipes. There are like plenty of pipes around here too, right? Just have it like go around pipes and like you can hear like the scratching noises of its claws against the pipes. Terrifying. Alright, time to leave. We had our fun on Cemetery. We have
I've been waiting for this.
wait, hold on. Test purposes. Actual R8. Two-shot headshot.
Enough of that sneaking
Peekaboo.
around shit.
Peekaboo. Wait. Beautiful. We have our little people. Our cemetery people. Alright, out we go. We have successfully passed the curse of the VKS. I can now forget it exists for months now.
Another day, another dollar.
Maybe Eastern Europe. Oh god, yeah, Rule 34 of the hands. Oh no. Alright, we're good there. Lordos is not there anymore? Lordos? Lordos? Oh no, Lordos. he's moved a bit. He's just chilling. He's just chilling. Oh god, they killed Lordos. I think Lordos is already dead, to be honest. Alright, let's do one more thing too. Let's see. I'm curious. Maybe the hotfix was for the most important thing. Unplayable. Those absolute fiends. Probably because they are. Let's go back to Old Man for a bit. Alright, we haven't done Scorched yet. Time for Scorched. Alright, Memento. What else? Shifting Tide. Yeah, I don't either. He died or didn't spawn for me last time. And what gun have we not used yet? Good old 36M, because why not? I think he's an M4. That's fried rice. Yeah, game's in a good spot right now. It's still very rough, but if you like early access gameplay, if you like the art, you'll like the game. Still very rough, but you know, is what it is. All right, 20 mil. Bring a turret for fun. Should be fine. I need to start doing quests for water, actually. I'm running a 3080. I'm running 1440p, but 60% scaling. I wasn't expecting this map game. I don't know the tank. I mean, like, they basically use the exact same parts though, too, right? That might be why.
Way too hot here. Keep low.
I have great news. Cyborg still died to a 20 mil to the head. Distraction! Why is there an Exode out here? Oh, they have to be here for a quest, I guess. That's a good distraction, actually. I'm guessing they're here for Shifting Tide. That, oh no, they're here for the Bunko quest. Bunko's quests have a lot of, like, attached spawns to them. So that makes a lot of sense. Alright, I'll be here. I do have an HK on me. I don't know which one yet. What HK do I got? Honestly, with that in mind too, right? Doing Bunko's quests occasionally for like night shift units is probably huge, right?
Let's get it going.
That miss or
Every shot counts.
I need to lead more? What is going on here? Where is your hitbox? There we go.
Look for gaps. Maybe we can slip past.
Yeah, first try. All right, Jenny. Let's go ahead and get you going. Is that a corpse tank? Yeah, this is a great distraction, by the way. Fantastic distraction for us. Side note, by the way, I know it doesn't do it right now, or it probably shouldn't do it, but it would be gnarly if, like, you power up the... So we do the generator over there, right? We power up the generator. it'd be really freaking gnarly if, like, you saw the cyborg here start to animate on the front of the radar tower. So as opposed to, like, it just being like a dead cyborg as like crucified on the radar tower, you powering up the radar tower turns the cyborg back on, and you just like hear it screaming. Like an analog cybernetic scream.
Oh shit! I got what I need.
I shot Mom. I'm not sorry. Thankfully, I think she's distracted by the tank.
Way too hot here. Keep low.
Alright, good there. Let me up. Did she get knocked down? Can you knock her down? Oh no, she's doing like a circle attack on the ground. Interesting. Very neat.
I knew I'd find you again. If it's our time.
I don't feel exactly very safe right now.
Shit ton of action down there. We should avoid it.
Hashtag NPC wars. It's a cool little AoE attack.
If it's our time, it's our
It's
time.
neat. She's acting much more feral now too, which is kind of cool. Now naturally the Exo can't kill her, so this is like a losing proposition for the Exo. Oh god, okay, she's time to leave. The distraction's gone. Yeah, it's part of like, so Reiji, Bunko's quests will spawn a lot of units regardless of the shift. And so because we picked up the quest for Bunko that we definitely aren't doing right now because we're running away from other Courage, they spawn the Exos or other units, right?
Case scenario. Right.
Can you come in here? I don't think you can come in here, right? That's what I thought.
Pick them off after the battle.
Where are you going? Nope, missed. Stop that. Leave me alone, reloading. Alright, time to go.
Easy day.
Your planet needs her. Alright, very successful trip. We got nothing done. Let's run it back. I think all of these are going to be in crates around there. Unfortunately, Frozen Swamp right now is a bit cursed. We can run it after this, but we're almost assuredly going to get Captain Chin. But I need to, let me actually get the quests on this map real quick. I do think, Michael, like, I think they should explore. It's so much extra work though. Like, for all of the units that have navmesh or pathing issues, I do think they should find some state that they can perhaps, like, have the units change states to, like, a crawling or, like, a smaller state so they can fit through things at the cost of, like, speed, perhaps. Lava, it depends on where you spawn them. They still have issues where if they land in an area that they can't path to, they instantly die. So like static meshes or like water. But like no, for example, like the exo that's spawned here right now, that's part of Bunko's quests, right? They're defending this little bunker here. Oh, exo, I'm sorry. Alright. Into the bunker. And we're good here. Alright, will you live? Probably not. Let's see if we can follow that guy out, though. To freedom! No. Don't run into the wall. Oh, cool. Shit, it's mantling. Why can't I mantle? What the hell? How did you do that?
Way too hot here. Keep low.
Don't you kill him. Alright, we're good. Alright, is he out? I hear... Nice, it worked. I'm a very sneaky sniper.
Every shot counts.
The 20mm is weighted so heavily. Yeah, something's going on here with these hitboxes for this thing. Some of those units have some very weird hitboxes. No, like the 20mm like so weighted with HK threat, like once you kill like a few units with it, even like one or two, yeah, HKs. Is that a dog? No, we're okay. Regular hunter killer guy. Out of ammo. Understood. Now I'm just looking for weapon tech. Then we can leave. No, yeah, the music's banging in this game, Jamie, for sure. Weapon tech? I do really like, too, how they're including more, like, component items and crates. I think that's the big thing we were missing, is kind of just, like, the more mundane items around. I do hope we can find some scavenging gameplay loops, too. But, like, I just do like the fact they're adding, like, in more mundane items for looting.
Don't get boxed in. Spread out.
Not really. I mean, the alcohol was a good idea, but like, oh, I would say, in a way, this might just be me, but like the weird bottles of like you had wine, scotch, and poured alcohol, like the way the alcohol is done just feels a bit off-putting. I don't know why. It just feels a bit weird. Like all the different types of alcohol you had, the large assortment. Also, yeah, it was world building that apparently cyborgs are alcoholics. Or like a lot of different variations of, right? F. Have we not found one yet, really? Let's keep going. Yeah, where's the like the Charmin? The high value TP rolls around here. No, but yeah, lurking, yeah, like in ways for grabbers or Orgamechs or like, yeah, Captain Crunch, Captain Chin, to like sneak or like get through areas where they can't normally like path to, right? By squeezing. I mean, eventually you'll have units that are just too big, and that's perfectly fine. But it feels like it would solve a lot of their pathfinding issues where if they just had a few different states for character movement. Granted, I do understand, like it sounds like a simple ask. It's a lot more nuanced. It's a very big ask, actually. What if we just doubled and tripled the workload for every character? I do think, Josh, like that's a miss for me. Like right now we have credits, and credits just don't really make a lot of sense in a game like this, especially on the front lines or the pseudo front lines. You kind of, it definitely feels like a lot of the economies here would be like some form of barter economy, right? Like bartering with ammo or like meds or, you know, alcohol or cigarettes. It feels weird how like we're bartering with like a fiat currency, like credits. Yeah, Maker, and that was like great world building, right? To have that. And like humans will naturally find a medium to do trade in, right? Like that's just what humans do. They're going to find some substitute to like facilitate between transactions. That's why, you know, fiat currencies or currencies pop up. Street credits. It's just your rep. I mean, I wouldn't mind reputation being part of the currency, right? Like you have to expend some of your reputation to actually buy things. And in a way too, right? If you had to expend reputation to buy certain things, it makes the loop of selling stuff to traders to buy things less gamified and more, or like less forgiving, right? In the sense of right now you can just stock up on items to sell to traders to build your rep back up, but and you can just bottom it out. But if you required rep to buy certain items, you kind of force players to not hold a bunch of assets on hand to just liquidate to fix rep. You kind of force them to like start using some of their reserves to buy things, or you know, actually obtain things from traders. Yeah, maybe. It tank, like, especially considering they had to like rush to get this game out in early access. Yeah, like doing a full barter economy is way more time consuming and like requires a lot more balancing than just credits, right? It's a much more complex system, 100%. Caspian. All right, we're good here. All right, we'll do Frozen Swamp. Now, the downside is I'm pretty sure we're going to get Captain Chen right off the rip here, just because we activated the, actually this will be an example too, right? Because we haven't done this yet, I think this stream, of figuring out how they're managing now what happens with Captain Chen when you already have something destroyed. So in the previous patch, what would happen is that, like, say for example we destroyed a radar tower on a certain map, as long as that effect is active for like 4 or 5 hours, Captain Chin will always spawn on that map when you load into it. About 20 seconds of leeway. And they mentioned something like they were fixing that or amending that, so I'm kind of curious how they're approaching it. Get some quests too for this map. It's like, it's a very Metal Gear Solid system, right? You have your question mark where they're investigating, and once they build up the question mark, they'll either go to 2 states: the exclamation point or the red diamond. The red diamond means they're actively engaged in combat with you, as in they're trying to kill you and you alone. The exclamation point is they are aware that you are there, they are aggroed to you, but they are currently taking precedence to another unit or another enemy, right? So say for example, if your opens are fighting cyborgs, they both those sides see you and know you're there. They will have exclamation points, meaning they're fighting someone else, fighting each other. Once they finish with the threat they're fighting with, they will move over to you. It essentially means that you're queued up for their aggression, right? I'm gonna need drills for this. It's like, yeah, they know you're there, but they're currently doing or fighting with someone else. Am I out of drills? Hold on, I can fix that. I mean, stealth could be better, but like, keep in mind too that games that focus purely on stealth, like it takes all of their attention to do that properly, right? It's hard to have a game that's just not a stealth game and have it do stealth very well, because in a way stealth requires its own kind of design. Now there's middle grounds, right? Like stealth, don't get me wrong, stealth could be better. I think it's mainly on the AI, but like we're never going to get the thief.
Another beautiful day on the surface.
I think the biggest thing I would like to see right now is for them to resolve the pathfinding issues. I think a lot of the issues stem from that. If they can fix like kind of the weird naving and pathfinding for units on maps, I think that will fix a lot of the immersion breaking and like kind of the weird behavior of units. Yeah, because so like we load into the map, 20 seconds later we get Captain Chen. So this is from us blowing up the Hind a while ago. So as long as that effect is active, he spawns. Yeah, that comes in like map design, right, Michael? Like them designing the maps from the ground up to facilitate that. Like they have to design the maps for gameplay to allow for that. I would say it leans much more into Metal Gear Solid sort of kind of stealth. Yeah, it's cool. I would say like, yeah, we'll see how they do it. I feel right now I don't really feel like I should be playing these maps that have that effect active. Hold on, let me turn this back off again. It playing every single time you play a map with the effect active feels a bit weird. Honestly, I shouldn't take that many fights considering you don't have lots of bullets. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's, yeah. I honestly, like, considering everything I've seen thus far, I think a lot of their issues with the AI just stem from navigation issues. Scab Girl's so fast. But like, also, I will say, like, we'll see how well this works. Like, when the enemies can't hear you thanks to the scav backpack or the stealth backpack, like, you kind of do learn how unperceptive the AI is. They're very easy to run by. I do like that, Mushi. You know what he needs, Mushi? Bagman needs the fanny pack. Bagman needs like a dad skin with a fanny pack. Yeah, thank God you're one. We're gonna hope this is 2 over here, but we're gonna go up top first and do all of that stuff. I hope we see 2. I know that across the way, that train over there is an objective. It would be cool to have some of the rails around here actually have active trains. How cool would it be to actually have an objective to like derail a train? I think they kind of have that a little bit, right, AJ, with the cyborgs? They have a few spots where like cyborgs crawl out of the ground and kind of ambush you. I will actually say, AJ, one of my earliest recommendations for the grabber on Cemetery was giving him a passive state off the rip where he'd only wake up from. So for example, like the grabber would be sleeping or hibernating somewhere, and like if you didn't aggro anything on the map, he would not wake up. But like say for example you got into combat or like things were fighting, the grabber would wake up and like kind of scream as he woke up. Yeah, I think AJ depends too, right? Like it's there's a balancing act to making sure it's not overly scripted, right? If you have a game like this that's like kind of really like leaning into the replayability, I think personally you have to be very careful with like things that are too scripted and not emergent. And naturally, like it's easy to say emergent behavior, emergent like kind of gameplay is very hard to do. But like it's more of just be very cautious with how much scripted stuff you do. I will say, okay, that is cool. Like coming back to this map during the effect and still seeing it on fire and blown up. That is like type of the persistence that is very cool to see. Being able to come back to this map and see that the helicopter is still blown up. Now, is the elevator still inoperable too? I imagine it is, right? Wait, hold on. Is it? I will be absolutely surprised if it's still at the halfway point.
Shit ton of action down there. We should.
Okay, it's not. That was a pipe dream, right? I'm sure the elevator's broken, but it's not like the halfway point we stopped it at earlier. That would be actually kind of like, I'm surprised they coded that persistence in. You know, we've had Captain Chen this entire time. It kind of feels like either he can't path to us or he's doing his like own thing this entire time. And honestly, like in a way, I will say, like, I don't think this is intentional, but like the current behavior with the HKs we're having right now, I think is kind of, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than the current HK system, right? Where like the grabbers, like we know the grabbers on the map, we know that the Captain Crunch is on the map, Captain Chen. We know he's here, but like he's not in our face hunting us, trying to kill us. He is just a looming threat on the map we need to be aware of. And I don't think that's by design, but I definitely think it's, you know, honestly a better version of the HKs. Like, yeah, he's down there. This is not intentional, but it feels a lot better, right? The looming threat in the back of your head that you need to be careful about, but it's not always just front and center. Oh, I know. No, yeah, don't worry. We are so very familiar with getting mauled by that thing. His AoE is very big.
Trash collection duty. My favorite.
All right, I brought a few drills in. Well, according to Lordos, right, they are equipped with like 20mm guns that like they're very accurate with. I almost kind of feel like they don't know of a way of like, well, right now rather, because of the current setup with HKs and how they're omniscient, like if they had guns, they would just spawn, kill you, and then leave, right? They would be too powerful with guns almost if they're going to be like lore appropriate. Oh god. Cover. Is Captain Chin here? All right, time to do some drilling. Yeah, I mean, like the KS-23 though is still like there's been lots of requests for the KS-23, and like I don't know, it just kind of goes. I wouldn't mind a bespoke large bore shotgun. I don't know. I wonder if they're regretting having the guns be conventional firearms at this point, and not a bit more homebrewy. Oh, that's a large item? Is it? I'm just full on. Let me just drop a few of these things. Okay, now there we go. We were just full. Just small backpack things. Essentially, the reason why, right, is just because, like, with guns like the KS-23, AK, so on and so forth, right, you kind of have certain expectations on how they should feel and how they should perform. And like, if the gun doesn't work like that in the game, or doesn't perform up to the standards of that in the game, it's just mismatched expectations. I think it's time to leave. Yeah, so Captain Chin spawned at the very beginning of this raid, and we've seen him like maybe once or twice. We've heard him a few times too, right? Basically East Europe, as a way of putting it, yeah, essentially. All right. And like, just, I think a little bit of extra flair goes a long way. For like the millionth time bringing up Elysium. Just like, look at the Elysium AK. It does a good job of like, we do have community streams. It's usually every other Friday. But when I usually stream, it's mostly solo, yeah. But yeah, every other Friday's community stream where it's an open lobby. You can join the Discord though. You can either join Fun Dogs or mine or both. And there are LFG channels in both of those to look for people to play with. All right, do we pray for a nighttime stairway? Get some rain? No, actually, you know what? Maybe nighttime staircase should be that rare because it's actually raining, right? How often should you expect rain? Why would I pray, Michael? The last thing I want to do is get you guys on the headspace of thinking praying does anything. It would be devastating for my work here, for, you know, preaching against your guys' deity, if we randomly prayed and got just weirdly lucky and got a night shift. As of last stream, the tank, I now have a Discord. It should be in the description of this video for YouTube, and it should be a command for Twitch also. The command should work for YouTube, but it's been kind of janky, so I don't think it's working for right now for YouTube. But down in the description below for YouTube. I think it only works for Twitch right now. Don't know why it wasn't working for YouTube, but it's essentially why you saw me go live early, because I was just trying to figure out what the hell's going on with that bot. Wait, why am I bringing meds? We don't need meds where we're going. I don't think I don't really think why, like, in regards to updating Gunhead, if you just mean he needs the ability to heal in some capacity, sure. But like overall, I don't think Gunhead's like got any issues at all. I do think the skill trees are underbaked, but like that's every character, not just Gunhead. I am hesitant, Tank, to put it on channel descriptions. I'll probably acquiesce eventually, but like, I'm just trying. I mean, it's probably gonna happen no matter what, right? Essentially, I'm just trying to be a little bit cautious about having like my Discord link scraped and just having bots invaded. I naturally have like tools against bots, but naturally it's not an issue right now. But yeah, it's also in a way I'll probably eventually do that. The tank. It's just a nice way for me to of slowing down how big it gets and how quickly. Just to see how it grows and just to be able to like change things as I see fit. Okay, let me up. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why they say the movement feels bad, because it likes stuff like this. The mantling.
Tango dumped.
When has Rat King ever did anything good for you? I mean, AJ, you can swap your you can swap your gunhead before the raid. It's a bit counterintuitive, like you need to go to the skill tree and then like select the previous unlock and like select that. But it does work. I think because like, yeah, the AA32 is not, or AA12, whatever it's called, right, isn't as good as the RPK as a head. Yeah, so essentially you unlock all of his weapons and then you go back and like select the previous one. You know what? I don't need to aim. I don't need accuracy. We don't need accuracy where we're going. I got this. Don't worry. I got. Yeah. See, we got it. We're good. Yeah, hit chance by volume, aka just like every war ever. It's not. Yeah, it's not an equipment slot. It's basically a skill slot. Yeah. See you, tank. Have a good honeymoon. Also, congratulations, I guess. Not I guess, but I was like, oh yeah, oh, you got married. Okay, cool, nice, congratulations. Enjoy your honeymoon. I mean, there was a lot of conspiracy theories, right, of like when the game launched and how night shifts work. It's just random. Not yet, fried rice. They did talk about like, they have talked about it before in Q&As. So like, it's not a if, it's a when. Should I actually, let me go ahead and you're definitely not one, are you? Yeah, that's fair. You're not one. Oh, for sure. I'm sure. Like once we get like they've kind of talked about like in the Q&As, right? How they're not sure if they're doing like napalm or just like actual flamethrowers. Like, do they want the flames to be sticky on the ground? That could be a way too, right? Yeah. And like there could be things that wait. There could be quests that do wait that, right? We just don't know. Like there could be hidden variables in the back end, just like of like manipulating night shift percentages. Just do not know. All right, so I'm guessing you're one. Is it even a crime though, Game Shift? I feel like this game has no crimes. Yeah, that's a good point too, Subblack. I think it's just because we don't have like, I'm curious if these are supposed to be like only Eurasian radar towers and we're supposed to see other factions later. Like in a way, right? Imagine if as opposed to having only one Eurasian tower, it's actually 3 towers per map, one of each faction. And naturally that wouldn't work for every map, but like, or say maybe it like plays into control too. So say for example, if a map's contested, you'll see, you know, each faction's radar towers there. But if only Eurasia owns it, then you might only see these. And then like each one of these might have different mechanics and how they work and how you activate them. All right, you're 3.
Threat removal imminent.
Maybe yellow robes are coming later, perhaps. I think it's just John because a lot of the stuff right now is again the game at a very placeholdery and early access level. They're not fully fleshed out. Like we're kind of in a way missing a lot of like the early and middle ground HKs for a lot of factions. Like we don't have any like, you know, lower level or high level HKs for some, like we don't really have an elite Europa HK and we don't really have mundane like Eurasian HKs. I guess we have scramblers, but those are more night shift oriented. But I imagine, for example, we'll eventually see like, you know, the high tier Europa HKs like assassins. What I'm really curious about, though, is this goddamn hole in the center of the map. Brawlers could probably be an HK, yeah. Though I will say too, like, if the regular ranged brawlers were HKs, they would probably have to have been nerfed by now. Like, EOD hunter killers have been nerfed a lot, just because, like, having them, like, nail you from across the map's really aggressive and overbearing. Yeah, I think it's a lot of heavy metal, right? And naturally, so like the platforms there are like fracking sites. So if you're unfamiliar with fracking, right? What fracking does is injects water into the ground to basically break up mineral deposits underground, right? Break up shale, break up things that contain oil or can be turned into oil or turned into, you know, plastics and so on and so forth. And like one of the big, you know, criticisms of fracking, right, is it does just produce a lot of this kind of polluted water that seeps around everywhere, right? And so like that's kind of how I view Frozen Swamp. It's a bunch of like this essentially heavy metal water, right? This very polluted water that essentially you can't, like, I don't think you could probably easily filtrate at all. No, John, I'm referring back to when the game launched. When the game launched, the EOD hunter killers, imagine like them still being as aggressive as they currently are, but being way more accurate and damaging. That was the original EOD hunter killers. They were much more akin to brawlers than they are now, but they got nerfed pretty quickly because getting absolutely shredded from across the map feels awful. Like, if you think they're bad now, they were worse before. And that's not saying that they're good now, but they were worse before. Alright, elephant. Yeah, it's the old man. Yeah, like they are, don't get me wrong, I think they're really obnoxious too, but like at least they don't like absolutely obliterate you from range now. They just tickle you from range. And that's kind of how I mentioned too, like, well, Captain Critchin on Frozen Swamp, like it feels a lot better, I think, just overall when you know HKs are on the map, but like they're not constantly in front of your face being a threat. They're just an extra like level of threat you have to be aware of when you're playing the map, right? And they could be looking for you, but like they just don't always know where you are, or they're always not right in front of you. What gun did I get to pick up? What gun? RPK. So we need to talk to Aramaki. 762. Is the grabber a Pokemon? I mean, he could be collecting them all. Maybe that's what he's like cutting off the head for, to save for later, put on his collection. You go to the grabber's like doghouse and you just see a head of each type of character. I don't think I need this for this map, but we'll see. All right, got meds, got that. I have a feeling. I think it's some requests too. Any elephants? I could probably kill Red Baron. Sure. This will not make me very popular though with Europa. I need to go over to pistol. And then bring some grenade launcher rounds. Bring another drill then too. Bring some more meds. We're gonna need that. Drills. And we're actually gonna want to attack him instead, so we can actually find the boxes he drops. All right, I think we're set up right. Oh, like if you're John, if you're doing the maps too, right? Like the new events on the map, like Mech Trenches, blowing up the radar tower, blowing up the bridge on Mesa. Like, yeah, that HK, the Captain Chin is always going to spawn no matter what during that event. So in a way, you might want to skip it actually sometimes. The tac cam is a very useful like new player tool or just tool in general. You can kind of probably see like off in the distance right at the center of the screen some like yellow indicators. Essentially, the tac cam will like highlight enemies to you or like essentially containers far away, like through walls. It won't usually highlight things that are like aren't blocked line of sight wise. So we can see the radar towers over there. We can see the containers. It's a very good tool for newer players to learn the loot spawns and learn where enemies are. Now, when you have it active, it does make noise. So like, it's not useful for sneaking around to have it always active because enemies can hear you when you have it on. But the biggest thing, right, is because when you kill like exos, their containers will get scattered everywhere. It can be very hard to find the containers after you kill an exo. And so having this tac cam is very nice. It is limited. I do think it should be limited just because like I don't love the idea of like kind of incentivizing players to spend all of their time in this mode, right? Because it feels a little bit off-putting. I think it's a necessary tool for newer players, but I also don't really want it to be like reinforced as like tool that everyone needs to bring occasionally. All right, good there. All right, Red Baron.
Wait, collect when you're dead.
All right. So yeah, you can see the containers going. You can see the containers flying away right now. That's the issue at hand here, right? Container go far away. So like if you don't see those containers and where they go, it can be kind of problematic. Yeah, like yeah, they can go really far. That's why like if you're hunting for like medium X and exos, it can be very worthwhile to just like bring a tac cam just for the crates. And sometimes too, right, you can't help it, but like sometimes they will go off the map. Level 1 for Red Baron? Man, they really don't value Red Baron at all. They don't consider Red Baron very elite. Yeah, like they go everywhere. Thankfully, the big crates now that drop like the codexes do like actually spawn at the feet of the unit, right? Which is kind of nice. Actually, let me go mess with this too. Yeah, essentially, like I think it's fine right now. I just don't want them to see to like add a lot more utility to it or make it almost necessary. Also, I want more of this rooms like this probably feel so inconsequential as a map designer. I think rooms like this though are so necessary, just because like this room like ekes atmosphere, right? It's like it feels like a back room. It feels like you're like lurking around as a scavenger, right? Having maps like snaked by these small little areas, I feel is like so immersive for being like a rat, right? Yeah, I think 28, a lot of the maps just don't lean into like the kind of the scav game style all that much though. Like areas like that, like the vents, the back rooms, like the you know, mechanical areas, all of that just feels like peak scav to me. All right, containers. That exo had it coming. Now, I will say though, while those areas are really cool, I can see why they don't add them considering the pathfinding issues, right? Like you would almost need a way for units to squeeze into there. I'm on meds. I got a few left. We're good there.
Pick your targets. Make every shot.
I saw a red. Was that what kind of hunter killer is this? Old man still has best stealth kill still. That's kind of... Wait. Perfect. %, 28. I can see though, like with the path, like the nav issues though, like why they don't lead into that though. I still hope they add it in, but like I can understand their reservations. Nice. It is very, like, it's very lobby, right? You know what? I got a grenade for this. That went real low. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Like, yeah, do not ADS with this thing. The ADS changes, like, the velocity to be, like, just really, or the... ADSing with the grenade pistol just does not work very well. Hold on, I'll show you once again. So we're gonna aim at the very bottom here with the third person. And then we're gonna do the same exact thing with aiming down sights. There is a very stark difference, once again. So be very careful ADSing. Hey Delta, I'm doing well, thanks. If you ADS, you know, and you're looking too far down, you might, you know, hit a grenade at your feet instead. So be careful. All right. I am Hacker Man. And I will say too, I really do like this mini game. I wish the radar towers had a different one, but like on a door level, I think that minigame is just hard enough where like if you're under tension, it makes it doable but still difficult, right? I think it's a well-designed minigame. I do think the top levels could have some more distortion to them, but maybe based on difficulty of like the hack, but like I do like the minigame quite a bit. That's very fair. That's very fair, Sid, right? So very fair. All right, I think it's time to. Actually, we have one more room we could loot while we're here. The actual supply room. I do think a lot of maps are missing a room like this, by the way. I wouldn't consider this room very high risk, but like actual storage rooms like this just are very nice to have just because it feels immersive, right? Like this one and the Mech Trench one both feel great. A lot of the loot feels pretty haphazardly like laid around everywhere. And so like rooms like this just feel like appropriate to have lots of loot in. All right, time to leave. I do find it just really interesting too, right? All of these like little like rooms here. It's like, are they burying people or are they like used for storing people or what? Like they're gurneys, right? For like the medical gurneys they use, but they also just like store people. Or I guess bury them. It's very interesting. I guess it is called a mausoleum, right? I think we'll see that with downtown, right? Almost assuredly. I'm actually, like, downtown seems very, like, self-explanatory. I'm kind of curious how Shantytown's gonna feel. Considering most shanties right now are very vertical, I wonder if, like, Shantytown's going to be a very vertical map. Damn, we got 2 out of 3 that run? That's very rare. I forgot to do this too. Whoops. Morgue STK bed XL. So it's a morgue bed? Very interesting. Okay. Let's go. No, let's see. Shaman? Shaman. Blow up the bridge? Let's blow up the bridge. Well, unfortunately, we have the skin on, so we cannot look at Shaman's body. I mean, we can, but it's Shaman's custom skin, or I guess paywalled skin. Okay. Loadout. We need the equipment runner. We'll be able to do 3 out of 4 explosives. We'll have to find the last one on map, which shouldn't be an issue at all. What else are we looking for? RSAS? Why not? Yeah, Z, I think we are going to, right? I think they're just kind of... The railgun's like the first sci-fi gun we have in the game, so I imagine we'll get more in time. We haven't had a new gun yet since the actual, like, launch of the game, so maybe they're waiting to do a big gun patch eventually. In the oven. Alright, 308. Alright, so we're good there. I probably want to bring an actual sidearm to help with cyborgs. we're good there. Lots of meds. Some Mesa quests would be nice too. That's a freebie. Maybe do both of those. All right, city ruins. Yeah, that's interesting little pop it too, because I know, yeah, what's his name? Lourdes was talking about shanty towns, or like kind of like in Lourdes's tale, right? He was talking about shanty towns and kind of rundown towns and cyber slums, and like how they had like essentially clinics to help wipe memories.
Our deeds are measured in scraps. Let's not waste space.
All right, Mr. Tower. Actually, you're already activated. I don't need to actually activate you. We can just kind of probably beeline over here for the component. I don't like, yeah, definitely think we're doing combat sims, right? That's so on brand for definitely at least Yoruska, and probably, I mean, Europa too, right? Yeah, unfortunately, it's just because the shotguns do lots of damage and the drones just don't have weak spots at all. If we were gonna pass on weak spots, Lil Papa, I imagine like actual guns will be nice again. But it's either like headshot or no headshot right now. Hold on, hold on. See how easy that was? Just shotgun. Time for Hacker Man. The AA-12 is like, yeah, the auto shotguns make a lot of things very, very easy. I think mainly too, Maker, it's also just because it does enough damage where it just triggers the stagger mechanic, and so like it's essentially a great damaging tool and a great crowd control tool. Essentially, you're stun locking the NPCs while you're shooting them. I mean, it's still not as ridiculous as the frag shotgun in Battlefield 3. Anyone remember that shit? Like I'm playing Metro with a frag shotgun. All right, so we're gonna blow up the bridge. We need one more explosives after this, but we can probably get all 3 out of them. So I think it's here or next one. Okay. If you place it down and you can't pick it back up, that means that you put it down, right? And they're usually on the side here that doesn't have the joints at. That's 2. They should probably add some like a visual component here to make it very clear like what you need to place it upon. Like some kind of like joint or link work. I know it's not bad right now, but it's not very intuitive without the HUD. All right, we need one more explosive. There's usually some up here. Yeah, the drum mag really unlocks the power of this thing. All right, there's regular HKs, deservedly so. Explosives, please. There we go. Wait, they actually give you... Hey, they know what's up. They actually give you 4 there. I think the original spawns were only 3 there. So they give you enough explosives on the map right now to actually just do it right from here, which is nice. Time to blow up a bridge. Believe this will be the last one here. Nope, that's not it. Is it this one? Is it... It's not here. Is it right over here? Okay, that's it. All right, it should be primed to ready to explode. Let's go get to a vantage point so we can see it. It's 30 seconds, so I think we have plenty of time to get up the stairs before it blows. Oh, not good, not good, not good. Not good, not good, not good. We missed it! It's an entire fucking Eurasian army! Well, it's gone. We missed it. I didn't expect to see the entire Eurasian armed forces up here. On the plus side, though, I will say if it hasn't been changed at all, Maker, it's there he is. There's John Foreverwinter. Anyway. Stop fighting. I don't loot anymore. There we go. There we go. Interesting. I can't loot crates anymore, I don't think. I think I was holding E when the... Interesting. Okay, that's probably a bug. I was holding E when the cinematic started, and I guess because my inputs were probably stopped when the cinematic happened, and I was holding E, there's some weird bug going on. Okay. That's good to know. So, if you want to do a bug report too, if you want to test it out, let me know. But like, I think it's what's happening is that if you're holding a key impress or key press while the cinematic starts, or maybe it's playing, it doesn't give you back control of that key press. Because I can't loot any of these crates right now. I can still pick up items, but I can't pick up crates. I wonder if it's because actually, maybe because I still have a crate open. I don't know. It's something's weird going on. I actually really hope, Little Papa, they use more of the bombers for like locomotion on maps. The bombers are like the perfect size to be used in a lot of spots to facilitate like movement, right? Okay, so let's turn those in. All right, so our reward for doing that, you can see now on here, we have a modifier called infrastructure failure in Ashen Mesa. And like, this is probably the most direct like consequence you can see or benefit you can see for like doing that objective, blowing up the bridge. because now we shouldn't have any cyborg spawns on this map anymore. So we'll have to see what variant we get first when we load in. Yeah, that's cool. It is like the most out of all of the items so far. This is the most impactful because it's something that you can notice very quickly. Because cyborgs are so prevalent on Scrapyard, it's like very noticeable when they're not there. Yeah, every single one of the modifiers will affect a few maps. It won't be every map, but a few. So, for example, blowing up the bridge on Mesa will affect Scrapyard and Mesa. I need meds. Hey, overloaded. So yeah. Like, you'll actually notice on this map... We did, yeah, like, so we blew up the bridge and got Chen. So, if everything goes according to plan here, right, we activate the extraction, but because cyborgs are barred from spawning on this map, we won't have any actual wave defense here, right? Because there's no cyborgs here anymore. So it's literally a free extraction, right? You don't have to worry about cyborgs at all. Because XL, we're going full auto. This is also a map XL where it's like, this is a fighty map. No, Lava, they didn't remove cyborgs. This is the benefit for us blowing up the bridge on Mesa. It blocks cyborgs from spawning on this map. So when that event ends, cyborgs can spawn again. Yeah, it's like the biggest example thus far of like kind of the idea of their design, right? Like maps affecting other maps. And for example, right, we noticed this on Monday with the night version of this map. When you have the night version of this map and you have the bridge destroyed, it's basically there's almost no units on this map except for a grabber. So it makes the map very chill. Hey daddy, it was just a hot fix. Just fixing like certain units, fixing certain maps and so on and so forth. It just bug fixes really. Why? 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 It looks so wrong. And I say like, I know this map's very small, so it's not, it doesn't like, it kind of has the same critiques of Stairway for not being very deep, but like it does offer what I would say is like a very different play style to the other maps, right? Because you can go full guns blazing on this map and not get punished for it. Because there's no HKs. Thanks, Daddy. Appreciate it. Hope you had fun in Night Rain. I imagine Lava, like, there's so much they could do with it. It's kind of, it depends on how deep they want to go. But, like, I mentioned kind of in my patch video, right? If, like, the global reinforcement pool is, like, if they really want to go as granular as affecting, like, or having a pool of units on the entire region and having maps to track from that, they could. Like, keeping tallies of units that are dying here and there is not a big deal. I do feel like there probably needs to be an element of simulation behind the screens or behind the scenes, though, that you don't really get to affect. Like, there almost needs to be a war waging in the background that, like, persists outside of what you're seeing. But like, if you're familiar with Scrapyard, right, you can already tell like how relatively chill this map is. You usually see cyborgs everywhere. The main actual unit you'll fight are cyborgs, so it turns, in a way, you blowing up the bridge on Mesa, like, makes this map probably approachable for players who aren't really into like the gun-ho style, right? Because you're no longer having to worry about all of the units pathing on this map and making it very hard to stealth in and stealth out. Like, if you're unfamiliar with Scrapyard, right, there's usually a ton of cyborgs on Scrapyard. It feels more frequent. I noticed that it does feel more frequent too, but I'm hesitant to say it is more frequent until I have like a larger sample size, right, of just feelings, right? There's always just the chance of being luckier over a short period of time.
Keep cool. Carry on.
All right, T90s, time for you to boom. I'm kind of curious if I stand next to that, will it kill me? Yeah, I do kind of think lava too. Like, the disparity you see from doing this, the change, I think is a very important, like, it's when people can't understand like the cause and effect in the game. I do think there's some frustration there, and like this is a very good way of like making it very on the nose, the effect you're getting for what you're doing, right? Like the stark contrast of not seeing cyborgs on this map is very noticeable. I got one more explosive. I think they're 4 or 5 hours. I do think like I've made my opinions very clear that I'm not a fan of the IRL system. I do think it pushes players to like have to have these long sessions or not get the entire like worth out of their time for, you know, what they're doing.
Makes this job worth every time.
All right, last tank. Goodbye, Mr. T90. And I do think like stuff like this is cool, right? Like having these events that will stay here if you come back to the map. Like coming here and seeing these tanks on fire, going back to Frozen Swamp and seeing the helicopter on fire. That's really cool. Like having those small persistent little effects on maps from you like during a period of time is very cool. Because it makes the world feel a bit more lived in, right? That your actions are actually like staying and affecting things for a while. They are very small T90s. Every tank in this game is small. And like in a way, right, compared to a normal Scrapyard, this has been a very like zen or chill run, right? It's usually very chaotic and full of ammo, or full of ammo expenditure. Captain, weirdly enough, I wouldn't mind a mechanic like gens and DBD, right? They do a good job of like creating tensions, right? They would probably need to be more forgiving so they're not so reflexy, but like I do like the idea of generators from DBD. For those unfamiliar with DBD, generators are event like the actual objective survivors need to do, and it's kind of like a quick time event, right? Like you need to like essentially when you're repairing the generator, ever so often you'll need to like essentially fix something. A bar will come up, like a dial will start playing through the circle or the bar, and you need to basically place a button input when it's in the right area. And if you don't do it on the right area, it will like, you know, not progress, or it will make some noise, or make it very obvious that you're there, right? For the killer. And so like it's a cool mechanic that kind of like, if you're stressed out, it can be harder to do it, right? In a way, it's trying to like force you to be calm and focus on it and not pay too much mind to the outside. It's a very it's a very well done quick time event, considering it's like the linchpin for like an entire genre, or for that game rather. All right, that's it for today, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on Friday. This Friday is going to be just a normal stream. We'll be doing a community stream next Friday. So if you're interested in a community stream, 1 to 5 p.m. EST next Friday, first come, first serve, so open lobby. Other than that, I have a Discord server, description in the YouTube video for this stream. Other than that, take it easy, everyone. See you later. See you Friday. Bye, all.